It's Ugo. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel once again. So today I'm coming at you guys barefaced so that we can have a bit more of a candid conversation. I do just want to be fully transparent with my entire audience. So today we're just going to be talking about my skincare journey, my skincare battle with acne, whatever you want to call it, cystic acne journey. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, y'all. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So that's pretty much the intro. So let's just get on to the good stuff. All right, so the first thing that I do just think it's most important to start with, I do just want to say that it's important to celebrate all types of skin, whether it's all types of skin tones, undertones, skin types, whatever it is. It's important to celebrate that because I think the theme of this video is kind of basically what I wanted to tell myself when I was going through this acne journey. So I know eventually it's going to help somebody, but it's important to hear that you need to celebrate your skin in every phase and whatever stage it's at, whether it's all over you have acne, or you have one pimple and it's like the end of the world to you, or you may not have acne, you may have rosacea, you may have like other types of whatever it is. Celebrate the skin that you're in because you only get one. I know it's a lot of a cliche, and I'm sorry to come off that way, but it's true. Had someone instilled this in me when I was younger, it would have made my battle with acne just a little bit more tolerable. It's just important to hear because growing up, especially now, it was a little bit easier when I was growing up, but now all of these youth have access to social media. So think about the impressions that social media is making on them, and if they're dealing with something as severe as acne, it can be my main goal throughout this video is just to not cry. Like, I'm gonna try and get all the information out for you guys, but I'm just gonna try and make sure I don't cry. So if I'm taking like a few deep breaths, that's just my not cry countdown. So just please just give me some grace in this video. But as I was saying, it must be 10 times harder for the youth of today who, if you're dealing with an acne journey, it's important to just have someone to tell you to just celebrate the skin that you're in and love the skin that you're in because you're only gonna get one. So I just want to start off with that. And also, y'all gonna stop telling these little kids who got acne that is caused from makeup, because it's not. That's the main thing we're gonna start with right there. It's not caused because you're dirty. It's not because you're not drinking enough water. It's not because of those things. Like, I need the Twitter dermatologist and estheticians to just stop because it's so exhausting. Please, there are literally young minds whose opinions and views of themselves are being formed around the nonsense that you tweet, that you just decided to tweet because you're bored. Just think about the impact that you have and the responsibility that you have to people who are consuming this information. Anyways, let's get on to good stuff, child. So really quickly, I do just want to say I have been dealing with acne since I was 9 or 10 years old. My earliest memory of having acne was in the 5th grade. I just recently turned 26 in September. So it's pretty much been a majority of my life that I've been dealing with it. In elementary school, it was pretty much all over my face. There was no real rhyme or reason as to why these pimples were doing the things that they were doing on my face. It just wanted to pop up. So it did. In middle school and high school, it did get a little bit more predictable in the sense that my cycle was becoming a little bit more predictable as well. So that kind of helped to, I'm not going to say it, it helped to, cure it. I still had really bad acne. It's just, it wasn't all over. It was more so hormonal. So a lot of it was on my jawline, neck area, like lower cheek area. I did have acne on my chest and all over my back. Like, I was just riddled with it. And I had eczema too. My skin was just, it was putting on a show. And I don't know who was watching the show, girl, because I was miserable. So in high school and college, it was a little bit more controlled. Controlled isn't even a good word to say, but it was a little bit more tolerable for me because I got into makeup in high school. I did not get into removing makeup. I just got into applying makeup. So imagine the effect that had on my already aggravated acne. I was not removing my makeup properly, so that obviously led to more acne because, again, makeup does not cause acne unless you're having some kind of allergic reaction or anything. But makeup itself, like, if I have foundation, it's not just gonna bring a pimple on my face. That's not how life works. But if I'm not working to remove it properly and taking care of my skin underneath, it definitely can aggravate acne that's already there, or it can just cause new acne. You never know. But again, I say all that to say I was not removing my makeup properly in high school. So my skin was just getting worse and worse by the day. I was just putting more and more on, and it just kept getting worse. In college, I definitely did finally get hip to removing makeup properly. That's not to say that my acne got better. It didn't. But in college, I definitely was more dependent on makeup, and I started to use it as more so a crutch for me. And this is when I started to realize that I've developed a very unhealthy relationship with my skin, with myself, and with makeup. So there was a lot of unpacking that I had to do in college, but I was definitely that kind of girl where if I wake up, first thing I'm doing is putting on makeup. If I'm going to the dining hall, I better have my makeup on. Even if I'm going to get mail, I'm spot concealing, making sure, like, it was just to the point where I didn't feel beautiful without it. Like, I felt as though I can't be the Ugo that everyone knows unless I have a face full of makeup. And even to people who do know me personally, and if you know me in college, this may come as a surprise. And if you know me well enough, it didn't come as a surprise at all. But I was really confident, or I portrayed a lot of confidence in college, but I would get home and I would just cry. Like, I would get back to my dorm and I'm taking off my makeup, looking at myself, thinking I'm the most ugly person in the world. That kind of leads into, acne. It's like, it's a battle that you don't really understand the depth of it unless you're going through it. So you have the physical part. When you're having a flare-up, you have all of these bumps. And then after the flare-up, you have scarring. And then once you have that, that's when you have to start dealing with the mental aspect of, am I beautiful? Am I this? Am I that? So that's kind of what I was going through as I was growing up with it. I kind of just got to the point where I was like, F it. It is what it is. But I do just want to kind of quickly touch on some of the things that I use, because a lot of the times when people have acne, other people will just come up to you unprovoked and give you their whole medical opinion of what you should be doing with your skin. So really quickly, I just want to let you guys know I've tried almost everything. I don't think that, and this is something that I really hope that people stop doing. I really don't think that it's normal or healthy for you to just give unsolicited advice to people who obviously know what they're dealing with. I'm just going to try and, list things off the fly just so you guys realize that if someone has acne, they pretty much probably tried everything that you suggested and more. So throughout my journey with acne, I definitely did visit different dermatologists. When I was younger, I went to a dermatologist because obviously I had acne and I had severe eczema. So my parents were just trying to get my life in order, and my life said no, basically. But when I was younger, I went to dermatologists and I was given medication. It didn't work. In high school, and college, I definitely did not go to a dermatologist. But when I graduated college is when I finally met my current dermatologist now, who basically changed my life. But I say all that to say, since I was younger, I was taking medications. I've tried doxycycline, I've tried clindamycin, tried a whole bunch of different antibiotics. That's what I'm gonna say. I also tried Proactive. I have tried what else have I tried? I've tried acne.org. I've tried Retin-A. I've tried spironolactone. I've tried Axone. I've tried, I think it's called tetracycline. If I'm wrong, I'm going to put that on the screen as well. I'm telling you, literally, I was pumped with medications to try and combat this acne from the inside out. And again, it didn't work. Like, it's not as if I was just sitting there every day and just, succumb to my acne. Like, no, it was just the things that I was trying wasn't working. I've tried the prescription. Now let's talk about the over-the-counter stuff that I've tried as well. We tried the Clearasil, Neutrogena. I tried the African black soap. I tried the homemade remedies, the mask, all of those things. I have bought the most expensive skincare products from Sephora, and that still didn't work. So I was just like, okay, maybe this is something that I'm just supposed to live with and learn from. That's kind of where I got to at a certain point. Enter my dermatologist now. Shout out to you. You a real one. But basically, she put me on antibiotics, and I believe when I was taking the antibiotics, I also had a topical face cream that I was using as well. So she put me on that, and that didn't work out. Okay, so then we moved on to the next step. That's when she put me on spironolactone, and when I was taking spironolactone, I was taking Axone as well. Now, it did work. I'm not going to say those two didn't work at all. That is when I saw the most progress. With the spironolactone and Axone combination, my skin definitely got better, and I wouldn't experience a lot of breakouts. It was like really minimal along my jawline, but it still wasn't where I knew, or not even me, where my dermatologist knew my skin could be. So after all of the dilly-dallying and playing around, I came to the office one day and Shorty really just said, you know what, your acne is stubborn. Why don't we just give you Accutane once and for all so you can get rid of this? So when she told me that, I was scared. I'm not even gonna lie. I've heard about Accutane, and I heard that it was like the last resort, but it can either clear your acne or basically kill you. That's exactly the kind of articles that I was reading. People will complain about depression. People will complain about losing an arm. People will complain about losing their first unborn child at the mall or something. Like, there were so many negative stories when I would research Accutane. It was like, I kind of don't want to risk that. But I had gotten to the point where I was just like, okay, you know, you've had this skin condition for literally a majority of your life. You don't know what it's like to have normal or, you know, unproblematic skin. What do you have to lose? Really, that was the kind of talk that I gave myself. I gave myself that talk maybe, you know, the next doctor's visit, because when she first threw it at me, I was like, girl, I don't know if we're here. I feel like I'm here and you're here. Maybe we should reconvene at a later date to make sure we're here. So that's kind of what we did. I expressed my concerns, and it was basically like a full myth busting session, and her basically ensuring that this was the right route that I needed to go if I wanted to just, for once and for all, get rid of my acne. And I'm thankful that I did that, honestly. So let's just talk about my experience with Accutane just a little bit so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. So when I started Accutane, I was started out on 40 milligrams a day, which is just one pill a day. I believe that it was that dosage up until maybe 2 or 3 months in. I'm not exactly sure. But after a certain point, when I started to make the progress that my dermatologist wanted to see, she upped me to 80 milligrams a day, which was just 2 pills a day, morning and night. I was taking them every day. I believe I was on Accutane, I want to say, for a total of maybe 7 months. I started taking it in the fall of 2019. I'm sorry, I really don't have these exact dates for you. I started taking it in the fall of 2019, and I finished right before summer ended. Like, perfect timing, because you couldn't tell me nothing, honey. Listen, I just knew I was really going to be a problem. Like, that's how I felt when I started to see the progress and started to see my skin behaving the way I've always wanted it to be since I was like 10 years old. So I was on it from I want to say fall of 2019 to the summer of 2020. My dermatologist did put me on for an extra month. I believe the normal course is like 6 months, but I was on for about 7, only because I would still have like breakouts at like the maybe 3 or 4 month mark, but I would only get one breakout right here every month right before my period started. So my dermatologist was like, you know, that shouldn't really be happening. It's not a major deal, but we're just gonna extend this for you just to make sure like the Accutane is doing what it needs to do. Before starting Accutane, a major thing for me was just to make sure that my skin didn't get worse than what it already was. I was really scared to start it because, again, when I had started Accutane, I was on spironolactone, and my skin was just, it was coasting. It was doing what it needed to do for the most part, I guess. I was content with it. Like, I wasn't complaining anymore. I was like, you know what? I feel like this is the best it's gonna get. So when I definitely started Accutane, I was really worried. I was like, I just hope I don't start purging, and I don't want my skin to just keep getting worse. Like, I really didn't want to deal with it getting worse before it got better. I just wanted it to get better. But thankfully, when I was on Accutane, I didn't purge, which was so weird to me because my skin literally was purging every other second of the day. Like, before I started Accutane, it was just purging, unprovoked, just purge. Like, now that it's expected to purge, it really didn't. So that was definitely like a big woosah moment. I definitely did deal with the side effects of Accutane. Everything was dry. Do with that information what you will. But I'm here to tell you, even the things that you don't think will be dry, okay? Okay? All right. So anyways, I was having like dry flakes on my eyebrows, around my nose, it was dry. My lips would crack like all the way up to here like the Joker. My eczema was, oh, honey. My eczema was just having a field day. It was like,
oh, okay, so you don't want to moisturize, so okay.
Even though I was moisturizing, I was using heavy occlusives like the CeraVe Healing Ointment, Aquaphor for the lips. I was doing a lot, and it still wasn't enough. Like, even my scalp was really irritated. It was really dry. I know that this doesn't really sound like a selling point for Accutane, and I probably sound like those articles and videos that I was watching when I decided not to do Accutane. But I'm telling you, I'm not trying to like shy you away from it. I'm just saying, like, be aware. dryness aside, you know, purging aside, all of those things, Accutane really did get me to where I am today, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm really so thankful. I really listened to my dermatologist for one time when she listened, and it actually worked out in her benefit. You see, maybe I should do it more often. Maybe. After I finished Accutane, I remember there was a point where mentally I was just paranoid. Like, I was anxious all the time. I was like, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. Knowing me, it's gonna come back. Knowing my luck, the luck that I have, it's gonna come back. This is just temporary. Da da da. So I kind of wasn't getting used to the new skin that I had, or however, whatever phase my skin was at. I purposefully was not getting comfortable with it. And that is so unhealthy for so many reasons. Honestly, therapists had a field day with me. But I mentally, because I'm just so used to having to deal with it. And again, acne is a problem where you have the, obviously physically, when you're having an active breakout, then you have to deal with scarring. Then you also have to make sure that you are mentally strong enough to even fight this fight. It's acne, the kind of battle that it is, unless you have it, you won't understand. You probably, if you've never dealt with it, you're probably watching this video and you're like, she's just being dramatic. But I'm not. So unless you've had it, you really won't understand that mentally you need to be the strongest that you have ever been in order to make sure that you come out on the good side, or whatever, I don't know, whatever saying that people say. Because it will break you down. There have been many times where I would just cry. There have been many times I've been depressed. Easily you can slip into a depression, because as people, a lot of our confidence does stem from what we look like physically. So if you have that moment where it's like you're not confident in what you look like physically, it kind of just snowballs into other issues and other mental issues that you just don't even want to have. So I'm just saying this because I know, and I've been there, and I've fought this really almost seemingly impossible fight, and I made it out on the other side. And even if this video is not, you know, a home run for everyone, I know that it's going to affect someone somewhere, and someone somewhere needs to hear the things that I'm saying. It's so important to just love the skin that you're in through whatever phase you're going through. Whether, again, if you have all of this acne all over your face, or even if it's like body acne, or if you have one pimple, 2 pimples, 3 pimples, whatever it is, make sure you're getting up every day and reminding yourself that you're beautiful. You know, this acne does not define your beauty. This acne does not define who you are as a person. And just because there's one standard of beauty on the television or on Instagram, that doesn't necessarily mean that that has to be your standard of beauty. So again, these are the things that I wish I had heard, and I wish I had told myself when I was dealing with all of these skin issues. Had I just stopped and been like, okay, but just because on the TV everyone has clear skin and they're considered beautiful doesn't mean that in real life, just because you don't have clear skin, you're not considered beautiful. And it's important. It was important for me to hear that, especially, again, I was going through acne during my formative years. I was going through it in a time where I needed to have my confidence just like reestablished, just drilled into my head at literally any given moment. But I really do just want to say to whoever this video does resonate with, you're beautiful, regardless of whatever is on your face, whatever is on your body, you're still a beautiful person. And just because you don't see it on Instagram or it's not widely celebrated, still celebrate yourself. Celebrate the skin that you're in, and celebrate your standard of beauty, and live up to your own standard of beauty and not what you're seeing on social media or on the television or anything like that. So that kind of just wraps up this video. I know it was a lot of talking. Let's trust me, my mouth is dry, child, dry like my skin on Accutane, girl. I want this video to end, and I didn't cry. So make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you are, again, subscribing, liking, commenting, all of that. Y'all know the deal. I'm not even gonna start the speech. So hopefully you did enjoy this video, and if you do want more candid conversations with Ugo, let me know. It may take a long time for these videos to come out because I'm still working through my own stuff. But if we do want to continue these candid conversations, just let me know. Of course, I'm going to deliver like I always do. So see you guys in the next video.